Parliamentary Updates.
The parliamentary precincts increased recently with the opening of the Parliamentary Museum at number 6 Sackville Street. The structure previously housed the Cabildo Law Museum and is also fondly known as Little Cabildo. Those in attendance at the short ceremony to open the renovated and outfitted museum included Speaker of the House, the Honourable Bridget Anisette George MP, President of the Senate, Senator the Honourable Nigel De Freitas, and one of the Parliamentary Museum curators and acting clerk of the Senate, Ms. Kiba Jacob Motley, along with other members of Parliament and specially invited guests. Madam Speaker brought the feature address.
According to the historian Angelo Bissessa, this building does not date from Spanish times, but he suggests that it may have belonged to the Senior family, a distinguished family of Jewish descent. But Bissessa's research certainly confirms that the Cabildo operated here and later occupied this building. Under the mandate of Spanish governance, the Cabildo played an important role in the development of Trinidad. Among other things, it controlled taxation and investments in fixed structures.
Madam Speaker highlighted the importance of the site as the building has served many functions over the centuries.
Although dwarfed by the many surrounding larger structures, the primary utilization of this site to house the Cabildo, carrying out administrative and management functions, makes this building and this site analogous to the weaving thread connecting the past to the present, as its current neighbors, the police headquarters, the judiciary, the industrial court, its larger companion building, the Red House complex, are all central pillars of administration, although it beat law and order of this country.
She explained that the discovery of bones and artifacts of the First Peoples set in motion the idea of establishing a museum.
This propelled the Parliament to commit that upon its return to the Red House building, that these skeletons and artifacts would be treated in a respectful manner, secured and preserved. This commitment began unfolding with the interment of the remains of 6 complete skeletons and 49 incomplete skeletons on the northern precincts of the Red House. And as for the artifacts, there could be no better place to secure, preserve, and exhibit them than in this building, on this site, which in itself tells its own part of the history of Trinidad.
Madam Speaker said the museum can be viewed as part of our democracy.
Let us not view the Parliamentary Museum as a mere repository of the past, but as a guiding light for the present and the future. May it inspire us to lead with integrity and to govern ethically. Let it be a constant reminder that democracy is not a destination, but a journey that requires our active and continuous participation for the greater good.
The Parliament channel spoke with some of the invited guests.
In general, I think museums are so important to the landscape, especially of us as Caribbean people, because it allows us to have spaces where we can not only learn about our history, but also challenge the histories that has been taught to us. So this museum, I am so proud that it finally happened, and I know that a lot of hard work went into it, and I'm happy to see that all of the histories are here for the people of Trinidad and Tobago and for anybody who visits to see. So it tells the story from the indigenous people who were present on this land even before the Red House was built, through all of the historical occurrences right up until present day. And I think that is so important because, especially for our young people, they're born into a society not knowing the struggles of the people who came before. And A museum like this is definitely important to show those struggles and to teach the young people about their history.
The museum and all museums are so critically important to a society because it provides a visual evidence, it provides a window through which the general public, both local and global, could have access to the various manifestations of political life in the society. In today's world, where we are dealing with issues of democracy and freedom, a museum like this is even more important because it establishes a line that connects us to the past in the colonial period right through to the present.
Now in those days, there was no space, there was no Red House at the time, so that this would have been somebody's house. But he must have been a senior person in the Cabildo, and so they met in his house, somewhere in here. So this is why we know it's a very important structure from that point of view. And then, of course, it really shows that the country was being governed. It might not have been being governed exactly the way it is now, but it really was. And so, because of that, and because of the growth of governance from this small beginning to the Red House, the Parliament, the two-part Parliament, the lower house and the upper house, all of that came out of this very small beginning. So for that reason as well, it's important.
The inaugural exhibition, titled The History of the Red House, gives the timeline of events that tell the rich history of the Red House from 1808 to 2020. The exhibition comprises various artifacts, including the famous sea serpent, paintings, books, articles, and other items. The Parliamentary Museum is open between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m., Monday to Friday, except public holidays. Stay tuned for further parliamentary updates. For more information, visit our website at www.ttparliament.org and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram.
Parliamentary updates.